Good morning, TGIF. Hold on to that feeling. You know, only comes once a week. When you wake up and you think, this is Friday, I have the weekend off. Yes. Let me tell you, spinning every day, I'm starting to feel like I have a job again. I'm sitting down here this morning thinking, another day, spinning, So what I did was, I have Shetland locks that I had washed by the lock with nylon net. Remember that? And they need combed. I have it back here on the table beside me. It should only take me maybe an hour to finish this bobbin that I'm spinning, and I don't want to ply it, right? And I don't want to start another, so I'm going to work on those. So we'll have maybe a little bit of a break from spinning. Otherwise, this has been so productive that I can't keep up with getting the yarns posted on Ravelry, but I'll get there. I've got 2 days of staying home doing nothing except whatever I want. So Sunday I will be streaming very early like this, 10 o'clock. That's not normal, right? But we're going to the Ren Fair. So we'll leave after I get done with stream and go over there. We won't get to have a full day there, but that's all right. It's, you know, it's not that big, and other than going over and dressing up, enjoying the atmosphere, wandering around, looking at the booths, maybe catch one show or a joust or something, and drinking beer, we get that done. We've done our Ren Fair thing. So yeah, maybe I will stream in my Ren Fair outfit on Sunday. That's what I'll do. That'll be fun. I also pulled a fiber today, and I got to find a drop spindle, a wood drop spindle, right, that I will take with me, stick in a bag that goes on my belt, and have that as a spinning project. A lot of Ren Fair enactors knit, right? They use wooden knitting, I can't say that, wooden knitting needles. Boy, you've asked me to say 3 words in a row sometimes, and that just never works, especially early in the morning. But yeah, to stay in character, right, they use wood knitting needles. And I have that, I could do that. But I'm not one to knit without a pattern. I truly admit being, even in spite of knitting for years and years and years, the concept of making a garment with knitting without a pattern has never worked itself out and implanted itself in my brain, right? I always have to look how to do a sock and all that. So it will be spinning, and it'll be fun. Okay. We are going to finish this bobbin of Blueface Luster. Wonderful fiber. We are more than halfway through. Let's see. This ends on the 21st. That means we've got one rest day and another week of what am I trying to say? Another week of racing left. Okay, first I've got to break this down. This worked. I liked the way this looked last night when I was doing this in the big long strip. So I'm gonna, that was half of this, 4 ounces, so now I'm gonna do the other half that way. They make this roving rolled on itself, and when you get that unrolled, it's very wide. And I can break that width down 4 times and spin those 4, and I get longer stretches. I'll have longer blocks of color when I use the yarn. Unfortunately, I'm a little sorry I decided that this is going to get plied with a darker yarn. I think it would have been prettier with a lighter yarn, so this was dominant as opposed to the dark yarn. But it is what it is. It's what I decided, and I'm going to do it. because I already have this stuff. I don't know what I'd put with this. I don't really have, unless I would pull, I have one gray, what is it? It's a, not a, it's a man-made fiber, extruded, Tencel. It's not Tencel though. I have one gray. I will pull that out before I actually ply and take a look and see if, you know, I can always find self-ply the pink yarn. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So as usual, I'm still making decisions on the fly as I work with the fiber. Alright, let me find, I'm only finding 3 here. I would like to find 4. Or more. Yeah, I think I divided it into like 6 or last time. Well, my worry for the day, wouldn't be a day if I didn't have a worry, is my porch cat Twitch has disappeared, has missed 2 meals now, last night and this morning. I do believe I shouldn't be worried. I expect that she has found a hiding place and has kittens. I thought she would find it closer to her source of food, right? Maybe she did, and we just haven't seen her. But my point is, we haven't seen her, and she's not come for food yet. So I hope she's all right. That's my only concern. You know, I hate not knowing for sure that she's okay. It's a very natural thing. You know, they come equipped to handle birthing and safety for the kittens and all of that. That it's instinct. So I know that in my heart. I just worry, right? I would hate it if something really did happen. So, and our cat door, I forgot to tell hubby that I was going to unlock it in and out. It's only been set as out, in other words, and when we go on vacation, which is about 3 weeks away, when we go on vacation, that door has to be available in and out for Newman. And the reason is, a couple times we were trying to lock him into the house by locking that door, and we would come home, and fortunately it was just weekend trips, but we'd come home and he'd be outside. We never did find out how he was getting out, and we don't want him doing that for, you know, our long vacation, our 10 days. So I have to go ahead and make it an in and out. And I already, you know, hubby and I already talked about doing it, but I forgot to tell him I was doing it yesterday. So he woke up at 1 o'clock this morning to a cat fight in the house, Newman and the yellow stray. I slept through it, which is only fair because he slept through the one on the porch the other day, which was not Newman. It was the yellow cat and somebody else. It is going to be Animal Farm here when we leave. And I'm having a really, really, really hard time with this emotionally. There just is no other solution. except find rehoming that yellow cat, which we're working on, right? First we got to trap him, and then we got to find a farm that is willing for us to, like, put him in their barn or something like that. So we're working on that, and if all goes as planned, that will be done before we leave on vacation. Then, really, there might be a stray wander in, but there's not been a stray who consistently stays here, right? So I'm less worried about it. Yeah, it's not a good thing, but it is what it is, and we have to work in those parameters, figure out the best solution, and try and get everybody unharmed. I checked Newman over good. I mean, he had a fight last night, but there isn't a scratch on him. So evidently, hubby caught the fight quick enough, or, you know, they're more bark than bite, which is possible. You know, sometimes I think that this is like teenage boys, or let me not say it that way. This is like, you know, people who just every once in a while has to pick a fight, right? For whatever reason. Male cats seem to, they're territorial. The instinct is, this is my territory. Absolutely that way with Newman. You know, this is his house. That cat doesn't belong in here. He's within his rights, but I also figure he isn't going to come out of it unharmed, but he did last night. They're about equal size, with the exception that Newman is heavier. Newman, for the lack of a better term, has more belly weight. He, you know, has eaten healthily. He's eaten daily, routinely. Let me put it that way. Whereas I'm sure the yellow cat is catch as catch can, literally, outside in fields. So if you're doing the weight fight, Newman is the heavyweight. Yellow cat, who I refuse to name. I am not going to name him. Twitch loved us, so I named her with the intention of hopefully keeping her around. And that still may be true, but I refuse to name the yellow cat and want to rehome it. As far as we can tell, Twitch and the yellow cat are sibling litter mates, because they get along alright. But it also could be because what I didn't know was Twitch was female and less territorial, so either puts up with or hides from the yellow cat. I mean, it's very likely the yellow cat is the father of the kittens. However, there's been other males passing through, so that was likely too. But I am not counting on any paternal instincts with a cat. That don't happen. And, you know, if she went and hid somewhere yesterday, I am absolutely not surprised at all that she went into labor yesterday. The barometric pressure was just so changing so much yesterday. That often will trigger, it's kind of like the full moon. It often will trigger labor in animals and humans. And having worked in a hospital environment with many hospitals having maternity wards, it's absolutely, I know the full moon is absolutely a trigger. We would see that maternity ward fill and empty every full moon. So, you know, it's not a myth. There is truth to it somehow. So, it's not full moon, but the barometric pressure, pending storm, and a lot of what ours was pending storm that never came, right? We got all the ickies about it, but in fact, I wish the air would run. Again, it's so hot. It is 10 o'clock in the morning and it's 90 degrees outside. It's relentless right now. And that barometric pressure being so changeable and not producing results is just probably put her in labor. So I'm thinking positive. We'll see. Hubby moved stuff around on the front porch yesterday. I have talked about this before. That is his power tool station. For most of the stuff he uses power tool for, like saws and stuff like that, are for working on the house repair. And we don't have a basement. The garage it would be usable with some work. It could be a workshop for him with some work, but we don't put our car in there or anything anyway. It's more storage and utility room. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Gonna knock the headset right off my head. I'm not sure I'm done. Anyway, he just made the half of the front porch, which is 15 foot long, his workshop. And he was getting some wood out. He was moving things around. He got some wood out, and yesterday afternoon. And that was when after that, we didn't see Twitch anymore. And I said to him, you didn't trap her somewhere, did you? And he said, well, she'd be crying. You know, we'd hear her. And that's true. We'd hear her meowing. Especially if she heard us. So. But he says, she just got spooked off of there because I was moving stuff around. And I said, okay. But then she didn't show up this morning either, so. She's not that spooked. She's taking care of business. Alright, excuse me a minute here. Oh, I turn away and I see the next spinning project. I can't wait. Look at this. 100% mulberry silk. Called, Tusaw silk. Not mulberry, Tusaw. Called Hot, Hot, Hot. Perfect for right now, right? I'll be starting that tomorrow. Because, well, I'll be starting it after I ply. Oh no, I'll start it tomorrow because I'm going to do it on the Roberta. That's true. It's only 4 ounces. I'm going to do it on the Roberta. Good morning. Oh, you been sleepy lurking? Yeah. Did your niece stay late last night? Or was that just a short visit? It is early, I know. I'm going to be early the next, all the way through Sunday. Monday. This is pretty much it for a while. Tuesday. Actually, that's true. I'll be doing this either start at 10 or 11. All the way through Tuesday morning. And Wednesday. The only time I don't is next Thursday. I am not doing the Sunday afternoon, if you didn't catch that. I'll talk about it later anyway, but I'm going to do Sunday morning because we're going to the Ren Fair on Sunday. I'll leave after I stream. Oh, about 4:30. She came back at 6:30. Lily's laying strategically down the hallway to see everybody. Keeping track of oh, she's being a herding dog. Okay, now you go over here. Now you're here. Okay, you're here. Okay, that's okay. Okay, where are you? Oh, the life of a dog, I'll tell you. So many worries. You're on your second cup of coffee. Yeah, when my grandson spends the night out here, there's, he will sleep later than us. So there's always that little bit of quiet. And then he wakes up and it's all about him. Called my daughter yesterday to fill her in when we leave, give her the exact dates that we're going to Florida, because she's the one coming out and taking care of the cats, and fill her in on Twitch's situation. It's like, I don't know if you're going to be feeding one porch cat, 10 porch cats. I do know that I need to put on my grocery list to buy 2 bags of the inexpensive food to stock up. Yes. Lily's a big fan of everybody in the same room. You keep your eye on everybody then. I had a border collie. She had blue eyes. I never dreamed maybe that she possibly was blind. She didn't. I just never knew if that was a possibility or not, right? Until after I no longer had her. But it was back in the day when we had my daughter living here. She'd have friends out or whatever, and we'd all be on the porch, right? And some would sit on one side of the porch. That was back before hubby started using the porch as a work shop too. Some would sit on one side of the porch, some would sit on the other side of the porch, and that dog went crazy trying to get everybody on the same side of the porch. We'd laugh. We'd do it just to make the dog run back and forth. But yeah, I don't know for sure whether that dog was blind or not. Whether the blue eyes meant she was. That's true in cats, isn't it? When they're blue-eyed, they're blind. Like a white cat is often blind. It's genetic. But one of the farmer neighbors gave her as a puppy and said, you really need a watchdog out here. And while she was still young and getting used to us, I kept her inside. But then I did eventually she had a doghouse and was on a chain while I was not home because I was working. We were, nobody was home. We'd put her out there. And we came home one day and she wasn't there. We really don't know if she broke the chain. It didn't look like it was. The chain looked like it had been unhooked, and somebody took her. So, I don't know. This is back to this living in the country. Sometimes things just never get answered, right? Things happen that just never get solved or answered, or you just don't know why. I think hubby has grown to love the cats as much as I do, but, I think he'd like a dog too. But I just cannot handle how much a dog needs you to do for them, right? And keeping track of them, if you let them outside, all of that. And I know hubby wouldn't do it. He'd expect the dog to understand that it stays put. And because shoot, I've heard him talking to the cat that way, lay down in the lap, lay down. Cats don't do that at all. But the dog is made differently. It wants you to tell it what to do, and it wants you to be with you all the time and take care of everything it needs. And a cat is like, I need a snack. Let's go see what's in the cornfield. Or you can put out dry food and they'll go nibble, right? You put out any kind of food for a dog, it won't stay there. It'll be gone. Okay, that's enough dog bashing. I won't bash dogs anymore. I'm a grandmother. I'm a dog grandmother. I love other people's dogs. Now, if we ever move down to my mom's house, I will not have a cat. I mean, if I still have a living cat, I would take it with me and let it live its life out. But I would get a dog, a little dog. There's a wonderful place to walk with dogs. People walk with their dogs all the time. Dogs are expected to be in the house, not outside, right? So I don't have to worry about building a fence or anything like that. It can be on the screened-in porch with us because there's no way out. So anyway, yeah, I would get a little dog. I tried to talk my mom into one for a long time. I didn't realize it was because she was living alone for so many years. She lived alone, almost 20 years, and I thought it'd be good company. And she didn't travel, you know, like we travel, and that is a problem with a dog. I'm assuming by the time I get to Florida, we won't be traveling as much, but that might not be a good assumption. Might not be true. But anyway, you know, she kept saying, no. But then when she would talk about the dog that we had when I was young, growing up, was a little dachshund, something else called Princess. Mom would say, well, that was my dog. Princess was my dog. I never said back, I thought that was my dog. I never said that back to her, right? But, and you know what? Mom's on my mind today. This was her birthday. So, sorry, but she is on my mind today. Anyway, her house and setup and all of that is set up really good for a little dog. And it would be good company. As long as you can get out and walk it. And I did not realize as she was aging, you know, how much trouble she was having. She used to walk all the time. And there was a period of time, I think, I was still working. We only got down there twice a year. And she was aging during that time to the point I didn't realize that she wasn't really capable of going out on those walks anymore. She didn't feel like she could see well enough. Yeah, you know, that kind of thing. And by the time I got retired and was seeing her a little more frequently, she was close to the end of her life. So, yeah, she just never could put a dog in her life. Kay says, it does depend on the dog. Your brother's dogs will eat anything right away, but Lily just sort of grazes when she feels like it. And by that, I mean when she realized she isn't getting any more treats. Yeah, right. Yet. Not, yeah. I'll hold out for the treats. Oh, all right. I'll go eat my good food. Good for me food. Yeah. I guess it does. I guess it does depend on the dog, because my experience, of course, obviously is not only will they eat that, they'll eat the cat food and anything they can reach on the counter. You leave for work and it's all fine. I'll eat my foods. I am so glad we have a dog that can't reach the counter. Yeah, I got shocked one time. I had left cooked chicken in the skillet on the stove without a lid, and came back to find the chicken and the bones all over the floor. It was the cat, the yellow cat. So, you know, now I don't even leave food out if I know that door's open. Yeah, the air's running now. Feels good. I won't go outside today much. The mowing's caught up. Garden doesn't need anything unless it needs watered. Hubby will do that. Only thing is, I am really hungry for pizza. And they don't deliver out here. I might have to run in. If I really want to do that, I might have to run in and get pizza. I've got a frozen pizza, but that's not what I want. I want a real pizza for a change. We haven't had it for so long. And I don't know what it is about Friday night. I mean, it's not like I even think, oh, it's Friday night, I want pizza. It's just all of a sudden I really want pizza, and then I realize it's Friday night. She eyed the chair, and if she was able to move it, she probably would. She wound up on my grandma's dining. Oh, really? On the dining room table. Oh, no. Yeah, see, that's... I think cat's instinct is to hunt for food. I think dog's instinct is to look for the quickest. Not necessarily hunt, but since we domesticated dogs, and they've been eating the scraps off the stone floors of the castles, you know, all those years, it's kind of bred into them to see what is on a table. Hi, Mass Bandit. Good morning. I am good. I hope you are too. Probably getting your day started just like everybody else here. We've been talking about dogs, puppy dogs. I don't have one. I'm just talking about some past experiences, and Kay's been talking about her dog, Lily. You're hours into your day, you're an early riser. Yeah. I usually get up at 7. Sometimes I can't sleep. I'm up earlier, but I'm pretty routine in my sleep pattern and hours. Once in a while, Newman thinks he needs breakfast before 7 o'clock, and so he does various antics on the bed around my head, trying to wake me up. And of course, he never does that to hubby. I mean, it's just, I don't know, maybe he does, and it just has no effect at all, and I wake up. Probably that's what it is. You're usually up by 4 or 5 at the latest. Yeah, that's what's going on, is you're still getting your full sleep. I will do that in the wintertime. Go to bed 8, 9 o'clock. And then you're right. I often wake up earlier. It's cold. You know, I'm just like, oh man. I'm tired of wearing all these clothes. I'm tired of being cold. I'm going to go get in bed, which of course I can crank up the mattress heater and be toasty. So yeah, that's a winter thing, but I'm kind of the other way around. I have to get up, or, you know, I get too stiff and a little bit of pain, as opposed to gotta go to bed because I'm in pain. Used to be, after I worked, I mean, it's, when you work, sometimes it's just, you need to just sleep and work and eat. That's just all your body can do. Chandelure? Huh. I've never heard of that one. Let me see. Anybody else gonna want to try and catch it too? Yep. Good luck, Bass Bandit. Probably get it with the Ultra Ball. I don't know. I always forget to write that in. Oh, my music ended. Let me get something else here. We're way too early for... Can I go back? I can just go back. Let me just start this one again. There we go. If hubby needs to buy lottery tickets, I'll use that as an excuse. Go in and get pizza. Or if he doesn't need it till the next day, I'll get my pizza then. Whenever we go for lottery tickets next, I'll get pizza. Mass Bandit said, you've got it programmed into your Stream Deck. So I have the poke catch on one button and the different balls on another. Oh! You are clever. I didn't know that. Yeah. That's why you're always so fast. I really don't try to make it something I do. I like it up there for people, but there's quite a few streams I do. Nobody does Pokemon. So lately I've been trying to catch a few that I know are unusual I don't have. Oh, you're just not doing anything this morning? Yeah. I'm not sure I like spinning this early in the morning. I'm noticing it is, my hands are a little, kind of tight, or tense, you know, they really... Fortunately, it's not too much of a... It's a pretty repetitive motion. It's not a lot of motion. Stiff, yeah. You're working. Oh, you're working, ha, on the paper for your class. Well, I hope you get it done. Get it out of the way. I understand what you're saying, though. But I was just talking earlier, I'm going to be streaming in the morning like this all the way till Thursday, next Thursday, so... My hands just need to get with it here. You'll get it done. I was looking up some references and I thought I'd see who was on and saw you. I saw me. Oh, okay. Oh, I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, I got a thick place here. I'm going to take that out. I'm just about done with this bobbin. I have this and another one to do. Very fast spin. Pretty much less than 4 hours for the whole bobbin. Because I started it last night on stream. Hi, Jane. Good morning. I need to look up more, don't I? This is almost done, this bobbin. So I have this and another strip to do, and that will be done except for the plying. I will have to ply it. And now that I've done this, I'm changing my mind about probably plying it with the dark. So I'm going to look for a, I'll probably ply the two dark pinks together and just have a solid color yarn, and I'm going to look for more of a gray silver to go with this. So, you know, sometimes I put these together and I think, oh yeah, that'll look good, and then I realize that basically the contrast is too high, right? Too dark, too light. It's not going to be the kind of yarn I want color-wise. It's going to do what we call barber pole. Bassman says, it's not supposed to be terribly hot today, only around 82. But it's already 83 inside, so you turn on the air. Oh, yeah, well, our air has been running. It doesn't run nonstop, though. The house holds the cool temp pretty good. But the last I looked at my dashboard on my computer here, it was 90 degrees at 10 a.m. Now, we've got a warning that says temps to rise, right? So it's going to go even higher with the sun out, and we have no clouds in the sky. I mean, it's going to be probably close to 100 today. So hubby doesn't mind working out in the heat. I worry about him. He's not a hydrator. That sounds funny, but he doesn't drink water, right? He thinks it's okay just to drink coffee, and so, or we'll make iced tea and he'll drink that. But I worry about him a little bit in the heat when it gets this bad. I don't know. Like I said, the outside work, except for watering the garden, is pretty well taken care of. Hopefully he takes it easy today. But probably not, because like I said, he doesn't care if it's hot and he sweats. He doesn't like it if he's hot and he doesn't sweat, because he says it doesn't cool him down enough. I'm a true Southern woman. I hate to sweat. I hate it. I'll do anything I can possibly do to avoid it. As I once read somewhere, Southern women don't sweat, they glisten. Yeah. But yeah, I probably ought to make him some tea, and I've got a raspberry lemonade I'm going to make for me today. Just a powder mix, little packet that makes one pitcher. Boy, I called it right. It's gonna take me just a little bit over an hour to finish up this bobbin. I'm sorry, I had the hiccups. Drink a little water. I really need to sit and watch the Tour de France. I have them recorded, and I have not been. Well, I'm watched like up through stage 7, so I have quite a few to watch. I have my Ashford in the living room, and I have bamboo that I need to spin on that for the state fair. The silk that I'm going to spin on the Roberta next is also for the state fair. Those will be my last 2 skeins I need to make, and then I'll give everything a bath and skein it up real pretty. I have to have it done by 30th of July because we're going to Florida, and by the time we get back, I'll have 2 days before I take it into the fair to enter. So it has to be done before we go. But that's not uncommon. A lot of the Tour de Fleeces, I use that time to spin for the state fair. I mean, I don't know of a Tour de Fleece over many years now that I haven't actually done something for the fair during it, if not all of it. I just happen to have 3 of the yarn entries done and the fiber dyed done already. That is probably the furthest, most done I've ever had for a state fair in a long time. You know, without having to do an awful lot during July. Who caught the... I gotta go back here. Mass Bandit, you got it. Okay. That's good. Those of you that are on various Discords may have seen my one post. One of the things they were talking about in one thread, and I forget whose Discord it was, but you know, it's Amazon Prime was the last 2 days, and you know, somebody posted a meme that says not considered Prime safe. Which, you know, I had to laugh and relate to because, yeah, I shop Prime days. Sometimes I have things that I have set aside, you know, save for later, and I look for bargains. But what I posted was, thank goodness they don't sell fleeces. Well, you know, in poking around on Amazon, there are rovings. And one of the spinning wheels that you can buy as a kit and put together. I was like, I had to go back on and say, well, I'll correct myself. And, you know, I'll put a link to the Rovings. And somebody said, I did not need to see that. Yeah, I know. I know. We are getting a new coffee pot. We're going to take our old one down to Florida. It has, in Florida, it's Mr. Coffee with a traditional glass carafe, and if you either leave the burner thing under it on and cook the coffee, or you turn it off and have to nuke the coffee. Not a fan, right? I'm not a fan of those. We have used a Mr. Coffee that has the thermal carafe for years up here, and I finally said to hubby, you know, let's take the old one down to Florida and get a new one. So we did. I bought some clothes, and I bought a rack. It's supposed to be a drying rack, but it also, you can make it the V that like goes over the bathtub, or you can stand it upright, and I thought it'd be a good way to display the yarns in September when I try to sell at a booth. So I got that. So the Prime truck will be making its way to us. I tell you, we see them on the road everywhere. We really do. I think I have to take a picture of that bright red, pink red silk. I don't think I have a picture of that one. And Ravelry. It qualifies as one of the oldest fibers in my stash, per Guitar Nuts question. I think this wheel needs some oil. I'm hearing little squeaks now and then. Usually a wheel you have to oil. Yay! I'll just sit this out of the way. And bring this table over. Oh, bang, bang. I think I'll have to plug this in. I'll check the battery, but I don't know how the situation is. I haven't had this on for a while. This last stream was a while ago. I used it. So let's see how this is gonna do. What I'm going to spin on here are the comb locks. Oops, that's not right. Okay, what do I got on here? Well, first let's see if it works with the... Nope. Okay, this is dead. Hi, Holly. How are you this morning? Welcome. I'm glad you all are coming in. I just finished up a spinning project on the Ara, and I'm going to fill in a little bit of time here with this little one with some locks. But first, I haven't spun on this for a while, so I got to figure out if I have any battery that'll work or if I need to. Forget how this plugs in. Here, plugs in here. And this plugs in still, like this. Okay. And this is dead. Okay. So everything's dead. No surprise. I haven't used it for a while. So I will get that into charging mode here on my computer after stream, and I will just plug this in with good old electric. Oh, I wonder if no, I'm not. Okay, I have my chair on the over the cord. That's not going to work. Doing okay so far? Me too. Okay, cross your fingers. If this doesn't work, yay. Okay. I was pretty sure it would, but... Alright. How's the camera? Looks pretty good. Maybe down a little bit. Okay, now this is what I've got here. These are Shetland locks that were washed, and I washed them in a berry box. I am not going to try and keep track of that anymore as far as the yarn. I was just doing that when I was showing various ways to wash locks. And then I take locks that look like this. They're washed, okay, but they're still got, you can see the tip and everything. And I comb them with a dog comb, which is this. And I'll go ahead and do one just to show you. And I have some already combed, and I was going to start spinning those, see how they do. But this is the way they get combed. You do the tip end first, then you do the cut end by holding on to the other ends, each of the other ends. Cut ends, as you can see, is always a little snarly. I get stuff out of there that I don't want in the yarn. These are called the neps. And then I go all the way to the middle and kind of try and open it up more in the middle, and that is a combed lock ready to spin. Alright, so that's what I have here. And when you spin locks like this, you do want to spin them from cut end to tip. So when I lay them down, I usually lay them down that way, and because it is kind of hard to tell. But I know that my tips are facing my spinning wheel here. Now I got to figure out this leader. I'm not real sure what's going on here. If this is yarn or a leader. So I see white here. I think I was just spinning attaching to that. Okay. It's not really... This was a real short leader. I remember now. I added some to it. Okay, what you do is just lay your cut side next to where you want to join, and you draft out of the lock. As you can maybe see, it's going to spin real thin. I have to be careful to get enough twist and not spin too thin. And your lock will just completely disappear if you're using good comb locks. Cannot do this without combing them. So use the entire lock. I do have one little nep right here. Okay, I am going to run my comb through this cut end again. Doesn't look combed real well. I think I forgot to go down to the middle. Yep, that looks better. It should look like a square of fiber when you've combed your lock out. And this is actually 2 locks. But the thing is, it takes a pretty light pull-in. You want it to take your yarn in when you're ready for it, but you don't want a pretty strong pull-in. And this is about, this little nano has the lightest pull-in I have ever spun on. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but it's perfect. It is really perfect. The disadvantage, of course, is it needs a lot of locks to get any kind of yarn, right? I'm just going to have small skeins here. So when I get a fleece, if I judge that it has locks that are, you know, greater than 5 inches usually, 5 to 6 inches, or longer, I will take that as a candidate for lock spinning. I will determine if that's a general, all over, you know, on the, there's a lot of them on a fleece, or if it's just maybe one part right across the back and it's not worth it. Yeah, you know, make a determination if it really is worth the effort. It's a lot of effort to get to this point of spinning, because you have to wash those locks in the ways I was showing on previous streams so that they don't fall apart. I will be highlighting part of this, and that will stay on Twitch. I'll probably put a link to it on my Discord. It really would be good if I would put a link to it in my group on the Ravelry too. I've been so bad about keeping that updated. So I was in a hurry when I was doing these. You can see the crimp right there. Really, you shouldn't see any crimp, right? The crimp is going to be in the fiber, but that just means I was doing one end and the other and not going in the middle. You can still see a little bit of crimp, but it's opened up enough now. I'm going to take this spinning wheel to this September booth. I have to make sure I got battery setup worked out because I'm not sure I'll have electric. Too fast. Too fast. If I don't go fast enough, I won't get enough twists. But I'm not sure I laid all my locks the same way. It's kind of looking like I didn't. I can usually tell, and to be honest with you, if I can't tell, it really doesn't matter. Oh, I mean, perfectionists would say it would, but it doesn't matter to me. Wrong way. I just love the way I completely use it up, right? I just love that. Oh, I have 2 layers there. No wonder I was having some trouble separating them. Alright, this has some not very nice stuff in it there. I took that out. So a little bit of waste. So the only thing that really interrupts the rhythm is having to turn the speed on and off. You know, I really don't want to have it on while I'm picking up another lock and adding all that extra twist. So turn it off. Where that music got soft. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit because I'm not really talking that much anymore. I'm going to spin these locks, and that is probably going to be the end of the stream for me today. Be back tomorrow. Like I said, every morning, either 10 or 11. Through Thursday. And I normally stream Thursday evening, and I'll probably go ahead and do that since people know it already. That's my normal stream time. Trying to stream every day during Tour de Fleece, which is the Spinners Tour de France. I'm not competing for any prizes this year. All of this is my own personal goal, and focused on what I want to do because of streaming.